What is up and what is the mission? Attritionade here, bringing you another episode of Mission Attrition. And today, I'm going to be talking about the guy who watched the murder of his parents at a very young age, and as a result, became the very personification of justice and vengeance. I'm talking about the Dark Knight himself. And if you still don't know who I'm talking about at this point, after that description, and the very title of this video, what the hell are you doing with your life? But anyway, that's right, I'm talking about Batman.
Oh, don't act all surprised. You knew this was going to happen sooner or later.
Now, let's get this started, because this is something I could literally talk about for weeks. But seeing as the average person these days has the attention span of a, potato chip. Wait, what was I talking about again?
I remember!
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be covering a few key things about the Bat so that this video doesn't end up being longer than Gandalf's beard. The first being why, in my humble opinion, Batman is one of, if not the best superhero of them all. And real quick, before I get into that, let's clear something up. Batman is a superhero. I understand that he doesn't have any superpowers per se, but he does have extraordinary qualities and abilities that allow him to hold his own alongside other superpowered heroes and contend with supervillains. So, why do I think Batman is the best? The number one reason is that it's simply personal. I like to keep subjectiveness out of things as much as possible. And even though this whole thing is based on my own personal opinion, I like it to be backed up with as much fact as possible. But I'd be straight up lying if I didn't tell you that I'm just a straight up Batman fanboy. I started watching Batman the animated series when I was young, and I identified with his character. Reason number two. It seems like, and I know this is probably not true since Batman is after all a fictional character and thus does fictional things, but it seems like if you tried hard enough, you could become Batman, or at least a Batman-like character. I mean, think about it. If you trained from childhood to peak physical and mental conditioning and had like $1 gajillion lying around to spend on top-notch tech and gadgets, and then decided to live a life of vigilante-ism, you could probably do some decent crime fighting. Sure, you wouldn't be shielded by the almighty pen of the writer who ultimately won't let you die, but it's conceivable that you'd be able to put a dent in crime. So because of this, Batman is a little more real to me, more relatable. And don't get me wrong, I'm a geek, I love comic book heroes. My ability to suspend disbelief makes me a borderline lunatic, but there's something about a guy who can hold his own in the face of magic rings, super strength, and laser vision with nothing more than a belt full of knickknacks that just screams badass to me. Reason number three, he is the unofficial leader of the Justice League. And by some accounts, he is the leader. But being that Superman is pretty much the DC poster boy, it's safe to assume that he's the official leader. Now this can be argued because I don't think there's anything in canon that has actually stated who the specific leader is, but come on, it's Supes. That being said, everybody in the Justice League listens to Batman, even Superman. The characters that people claim should be able to put the whoop down on Batman, they themselves respect him, and in a lot of cases they respect him the most. When other JLA members talk about Batman, they talk about him like he's an anomaly, like he's the guy you just don't fuck with. But can he beat Superman? That's the big question, right? Even though it's been done a few times in the comics, albeit not canon, people still beat that tired old argument like it stole something. Look, it's plain and simple. Batman can beat Superman, and quite honestly, he's the best guy to do it. Anyone who's a DC fan like myself knows that if you need to stop Superman, you go find Batman. Hell, if you need to stop anyone in the Justice League, you go find Batman. But I'm not gonna get into that one. Not today.
But Attritionade, it doesn't make sense that Batman should be Superman. Superman's faster than Batman. Superman has super underwear.
All right, calm down. Damn. Look, I think I speak for any Batman fan when I say, we know Superman is stronger, faster, invulnerable, can fly, has heat vision, frost breath, the list goes on. We know this. And so does Batman. People who argue that Superman would beat Batman in a fight don't take that one fact into account. Sure, Supes can kill Batman with his pinky, but Batman, the super genius and master tactician, knows this. It does not fit Batman's character for him to put himself into a position that allows for Superman to just
insert your favorite death by Superman method here.
Okay? But the other element that you have to understand is, while Superman has a certain status within the DC universe, so too does Batman. He's the guy whose very being is predicated on his ability to beat the most overwhelming odds, on overcoming the impossible. I mean, this is the guy that, statistically speaking, should have died time and time again on any of the myriad of insane suicide missions he's put himself through. But he hasn't. And to not take that into account when pitting him against anyone, let alone Superman, is, well, just plain ignorant. When it comes to Batman versus Superman, Batman is the underdog. And that's Batman's best element. And from a writing perspective, the underdog kinda has to win. Otherwise, the story ends up being anticlimactic. And when you're talking about comic books, movies, or TV shows, anticlimactic just plain sucks. Now, people always like to come up with these hypothetical situations in which Batman would be at even more of a disadvantage than he already is, and in a situation that he just couldn't win. But this isn't fair to the characters. Sure, if you lock Batman and Superman in a box and made them fight, Superman wins every time. But what the hell makes you think that Batman would ever allow himself to be locked in a box with Superman, knowing he'd have to fight him to the death? Quite honestly, it's more likely that Batman would trick Superman into flying into a kryptonite-lined box like a moth to the flame than to allow himself to be put into a UFC cage match with the Man of Steel. It just doesn't fit. And finally, the number one reason that Batman is the best. Well, I'm gonna let you guess. Go on, give it a guess. I bet you know. Yeah, it's 'cause he's Batman. Thanks for listening, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think about what I think about Batman. Don't forget to subscribe and give the video a like if you liked it, or give the video a dislike if Superman sings you to sleep at night. This is Attritionade signing out, and stay tuned for the next episode of Mission Attrition.
Miss me?